These are my notes for today. It says 2024 FBT, and then the bottom says Riz. I knew about Riz because I listened to public radio. That's where all sources of great information are. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters in virtual reality land. 2024. 2024. It's 4 days away. 4 days. It's time to start thinking about those resolutions. Oh, those resolutions. I'm going to be working out more. I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to read a book a day or a book a week. I'm going to buy myself a Tesla. I'm going to Africa. I'm going to be a better person. Boy, aren't those something? And you know, it's typical of all of us. We're in the resolution mode. And it starts with looking back. 23, 22, what didn't work out so well? We got plenty of those things in mind, and there are plenty of things that didn't work. But this morning, I want to talk about serious regrets. And these are regrets that we didn't, when we talk about resolutions, that we didn't accomplish. But when we look back in life, there are serious regrets. And they're not necessarily life-changing or anything like that. But this morning, I want to talk about 3. F, B, and T. The first one, F, stands for friends. We've all got friends. I may call Dave a friend. Dave's a friend. I may call Craig a friend. I may call Tim, anybody else in the room. But there are some people that we are just plain closer to, and we know how difficult it is to have really good friends. You keep them close, you don't abuse them, you cut them a lot of slack, and they're there forever. A number of years ago, I lost a good friend. He didn't die at that time. I lost him because of a 15-cent cotter pin. My God, how could you do that? He did a repair on a vehicle I had, and he made an assumption that he could use the old cotter pin on a brake piece instead of putting a new one in. I had trouble on the road. I was inconvenienced by this event, and I came back and I vented on him. I said, how could you do this to me? I had all these problems, so on and so forth. I said, I'm sorry, I made a decision. I couldn't get past that. And I lost him as a friend over that cotter pin. It wasn't until about 5 years later that I realized how stupid and short-sighted and intolerant I had been over such a thing. But by then, it was too late. He had passed on, and I had lost this very, very close friendship for all those years. The second thing was bullying. Nee brought it up 2 or 3 weeks ago. Talked about being bullied in school. It took me back to my high school days when I watched my classmates torment, harass Ron. Why they did it, I have no idea. But I'm sure it was because they could get away with it. It would start at the noon lunch hour. It would go through that period of time until Ron would literally emotionally explode. Then after school, it would continue. I have no idea what happened to Ron after that. But I do know that after reflecting about 10 or 15 years down the line, I thought, how stupid was I that I would not raise my hand and say, no, enough is enough. But I didn't have the courage. I didn't have the confidence to know that I needed to do it. And I think that's the problem with bullying today. Your mates need to stand up. Everybody needs to stand up and say, it's wrong. You just can't do that. I wish I could have changed that, but I can't. The last part is the T. I call it Toastmasters. I call it public speaking, whatever you want to do. This changed my life. Yes, it made me comfortable speaking because I had for years resisted addressing this problem in my life. It took until I was almost 50 years old to come to grips with that. Now, as I look back upon that, that was incredibly stupid that I would not address this problem. When, to my mind, it changed my life. Now, I look back upon those years before that. It was a waste of time. These are the serious regrets that I think of today. There are cars I have bought, there are things I have bought, there are friends and so on and so forth. But these are major regrets. Now, we're coming into 24. We'll all have our resolutions. Most of them we'll never keep because those are the numbers. But the reality is, if you want to take the resolutions out of the regret category, you got to do something about it. And you know what it is? It's taking the first step. Years ago, the Kuntz brothers in Waseca walked around the world with a donkey. My God, who would do something like that? One of the brothers died on the way. The donkey died. They probably had a couple of donkeys that died. But when the other one got back, he was interviewed one day, and they asked him, what was the biggest thing in that journey? And he said, it was the first step. Because if you don't take the first step, there is no second or third step. So let's get rid of the bad resolutions. Let's get rid of the serious regrets. And let's go on to those climbing the mountain accomplishments in 2024. Mr. Toastmaster.